Yeah.
Diving. 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 Diving.
What do we think about them?
Diving. 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 Diving.
Yeah, welcome back. D4G Season 2, Episode 2, baby. Corciola, motherfucking Pep, and my man Sir Solomon. What up?
It's good.
What it do? We gonna backtrack a little bit on the music. But man, appreciate y'all showing up this week. We got our first full week of Premier League. We got La Liga preview. We got Serie A preview coming at you. We got EPL transfer roundup coming at you, and we're gonna look at some of the games that happened in Premier League kickoff weekend. Too hyped for that. Huge matches. Barcelona in the Super Cup. Look at that a little bit. And with that being said, man, Diving for Glory, we post every Monday on YouTube on divingforglory.com. And if you follow us on Twitter, you will get those tweeted right at your dome. That's how it go.
Yep.
But with all that being said, man, I mean, I just want to jump right into it. Jersey's tucked, man. Boots laced. Let's roll. Ooh, on the switch. On the switch. Ooh. Bring it in, because we gonna start with Mourinho. Word. Let's go. They kicked off the Premier League season at home to Leicester City. Tell us about it, Sir Solomon.
Leicester City's idiot defender destroyed this for everybody because we were looking forward to a really good matchup, which is what I thought it would be. But an early handball kind of changed the game.
Yeah. It looked like a volleyball serve or something.
Where he was pointing on his jersey to say he was not guilty was actually his arm. Like, his defense was that he's like, I was right here, dude. Yes, that's an arm.
Wrong, bro. Wrong. That was early in the game, you said, right? Like second minute.
Something like that. And then, it took about till the 23rd minute for Pogba to finish his run-up. And they slotted it away.
There was a little bit of controversy there about that?
Somewhat, but nowadays they don't enforce any sort of, how you walk up to a run up to a penalty. Back in the day, once you start your movement, you have to go straight through and finish it, and it used to be enforced, all that. But
I was actually speaking more about the supposed tiff between him and Alexis about who would take the penalty. Is that already a big deal here? Dude's like, hold up, man. Alexis is like, I get paid the most here, bro.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with somebody when your eyes and his dick are at the same level.
Dude was like, I just won the World Cup, son.
He was like, I'm me and you're not taking it.
Yeah, my squad, dude.
Dude, after this big summer, he just got the captaincy. Pogba was the captain.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, just don't. I don't understand why they step up. Even when Neymar did it, discuss that in the locker room. You think that he's gonna be shy and let you have it?
When you put it all into context, right? Pogba is the academy kid. Pogba is coming off of this incredible summer. He's the captain. It's like, what are you, Alexis, bruh? Chill.
Dude is out. I don't know. And it's such a bad look.
Yeah.
To come up and argue over that.
Discuss
that. The coach should have told you who's taking the penalties. If not,
well,
you should have been upset about getting that captaincy because
Yeah.
don't step up to your captain like that.
Yeah, for real. And Moo said after the game that Pogba is first choice, always first choice. Whatever, bro. So, with all that being said, was this a typical United game for you? Impressive, but they still walk away. I mean, they were up 2-0 off a later Luke Shaw goal that was his first at any senior level.
Two things. First off, he's a left back, so he's not really looking to score. Secondly, he just had a year and a half of no football, and he's 22 or something.
For sure.
So yeah, it was awesome to see him do that because while he was injured and trying to get into this team, Mourinho took the opportunity to shit on him at every fucking opportunity. So it was really good to see that the two people that scored were Pogba and Luke Shaw. Pogba, after the game, actually added to some other form of controversy, which we'll get into, but the way Manchester played, you're right. Same old Manchester. They got the result. But if Kelechi and Nacho had any sort of finishing skills, and
right?
They would have at least Leicester would have at least tied them. Damari Gray was running circles around the defense. Darmian had to get pulled off because they were nah, dude. They ran at him all day. And
I'm surprised he even is still on this squad. Probably just couldn't sell him for any reasonable fee that they're going to take a loss on this kid no matter what.
Yeah.
So, statistically, Leicester basically dominated the game.
When you have 8 total shots in a game where you got a second-minute penalty, at home, real?
Did Moo sit back after that? Did he do his normal thing? Did he try to lock it down?
You see, that's the thing about having Jose Mourinho's reputation is that whenever they get attacked, it's assumed that he's at back. Sometimes you just get got.
Sometimes you just get got.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know. To me, Claude Puel drew up a beautiful game plan to play against Manchester United, and the defender fucked him. But the bigger issue was, why didn't you start Jamie Vardy? I think that the way they were playing and how many through balls they were playing straight through the middle, that, Jamie Vardy should have started. I don't know why.
We're actually.
Did you think they're Juventus?
Well, we're probably going to run into this question a few times this episode, but with them not playing Vardy, who went to the semifinals, but let's be real, he didn't really play for England that much. Am I correct about that? He did, so there's no real wear and tear on him.
I mean, but there is wear and tear just because you just need to shut off completely when it's off season, and even training is not advised.
So if we take what you said on the preview last week, saying that the World Cup fatigue thing is real, then are you sure you should have started Vardy?
Yeah.
Whatever, no matter. Fuck him. Just this match. Is that what you're
I'm not saying you should play him every day. I'm saying that was the option that would have given you the best chance to win this game, and your biggest player plays your biggest games, and then you can sit him against Bournemouth if you want.
Yeah, sit him.
How many fucking times are you gonna play Manchester United? Twice.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. And he sat out most of it, and he played a short period of time. And what did he do? Tell me.
Oh, he scored.
Yeah.
Of course. Jamie Vardy's having a party, baby.
A motherfucking party.
Real quick. I don't know what you bitches did, but I scored.
Yeah, he's I don't know why y'all showering. I'm the one who did all the work on this fucking team.
Straight up. Man. So either way, Manchester United comes away with all 3 points here. I got one question about. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Before you get there, one thing that was interesting in the starting lineup, Pogba and Fred started together with Pereira, which I think he had a decent game, but if you have a third world-class player there, because Fred was all over the place and Pogba was doing his thing, he was sometimes erratic, but he was still bossing the game.
Yeah.
The third person they need a
Pereira.
Yeah.
That'll be nice for them.
I don't know if he's going to be nice for them. I'm saying they still need that guy for it to click.
Well, there's always McDominate.
Yeah. And whatever happened to Automatic?
Automatic, what is he? Must be injured, or
right? It's not an overly creative midfield if you think about it, though. Pogba was nice at Juventus when you played him with Pirlo and Arturo Vidal. Yeah. I don't know.
So, question about Leicester. A buddy of mine thinks they're going to struggle mightily without Mahrez this year.
I think it depends on, like, he thinks they're going to be in a relegation struggle.
I mean, they were last year, technically. You know,
As soon as they started playing, they got out of
he
it.
did.
So.
I thought he meant relegation when he said doomed, but you know, we corrected that, and he didn't say relegation. But I was like,
Anything outside of relegation is just a regular season.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, they're just going to be Leicester, man. They're like 12th place or something.
Yeah.
Like
Live
they
that-
might dip down there
that
for a
West
minute.
Ham, Everton life a little bit, except they managed to, when they had a good streak, win a league. So
Yep.
yeah,
I think they got a decent little.
they got good players.
Yeah, I
They
like
have
the way
a
they go
good
about their
team.
business.
They don't have
Yeah.
that special of a squad, but their starters or their starting 11 is good. Wes Morgan is beyond dead though.
Yeah, I was
Like,
surprised. When I looked at the starting lineup for this, I was like, still?
He
Really?
was the old guy. Like, he was when you win a championship, there's always that sentimental old guy on the team.
Yeah.
That was 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
Like, he was.
Captain West, Captain Morgan. What man of the match for you?
I don't think I could give it to Jamie Vardy.
Even though you would like to. His,
I really would like to. I'm gonna go with Paul Pogba.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a good game. He led, and there's the thing, and this is because some people that might be annoyed with me, but I've just been noticing this early season, the players that are going to the ball, and in all sports, the superstar gravitates towards the ball and he'll get touches. And Pogba seemed like he was everywhere. Fred did a good job too, but he really led by example.
Mourinho was effusive in his praise.
Yes, and
praise
Pogba
of
matched his
Pogba.
effusiveness.
Oh my God! With like, I can't say what I want, or I'll get fined.
And then what was the hashtag? I always give everything for my friends and for people I trust.
Yeah. Oh. That's like that's some Money Mayweather shit.
As soon as he gave him the captaincy, I was like, oh shit, fucking Mourinho's trying some dumbass mind game but like, this is a big miscalculation.
Yeah.
Like, you basically gave up the fucking power.
I was just gonna say it's called mutiny, homie. All right, man. Moving along. That was Friday. We start off with Saturday with a tasty treat of Newcastle hosting Tottenham Hotspur. I say tasty because I kind of like watching Rafa teams play, and Tottenham's still a good team. But tell us about it.
It was a fucking tasty game.
Yeah.
And I agree with you on the Rafa assessment. He might not have the personality to be able to coach, manage the highest level superstar in this day and age, but he drew up a much better game plan than Pochettino did. Pochettino just had better players to wheel out. Like, Rafa, especially at the end, it's good it ended because Solomon Rondon couldn't finish his chances. They were coming at him, and Tottenham was on the back fucking foot, dude.
Really? And this was 2-1 early in the game. Like, it was
3 goals in the first 18 minutes.
18 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And so they held them off the rest of the
Saving grace for Tottenham. Not saving grace. They had a decent game. They played good and they dominated a lot of possession in the first half. But they, like we were talking about in the Juventus loss last year and a few of the losses, when they get ahead, they don't really step on you. So Newcastle, once they got it to 1-1 and then it was 2-1, they just kept playing their football. But Spurs don't have that urgency. When you go 2-1 ahead, you need to keep driving forward and try to put them away. Spurs really didn't do that, and that's why in the second half, when they started turning it on, if his system had a fucking striker, Rafa plays really good, but I don't understand because fucking Mitrovic, who's a Newcastle striker, went on loan to Fulham, got them promotion, and Fulham signed him this summer, while at the same time, this dude doesn't have a fucking striker. So they actually sold the striker that led a team to promotion, and replaced him with a striker from a team that got relegated due to lack of goals.
Sounds like a bargain.
I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that is.
So in opposite of the last match example where you were talking about Jamie Vardy should have started, here the World Cup players did start. Among them, Harry Kane, Dele Alli, Jan Vertonghen, these guys, Ben Davies. Was he? He wasn't on it. He wasn't on it. But with all that being said, I mean, these are guys that, and Hugo Lloris, these are guys that played, man, against, and then he started them.
Hugo
Newcastle
did his thing. He made some good saves, but as always, like, they're gonna have to upgrade with him
Soon.
at some point because, like, he's old school in the sense that he doesn't do the passing game very well. Like,
and that's what
always
they're trying to do.
You saw it in France too for the World Cup. Like, he gave up a few goals.
Yep.
Like, you need to get somebody. But Dele Alli had a really, really, really good game, and Harry Kane put in a Harry Kane shift. You know what I'm saying? He didn't. But
what's your thoughts about? I'm just trying to look. What are your thoughts about them starting against, like, again? So you have this opportunity
I think that
to rest them against a team.
But the thing about the World Cup fatigue, and I wanted to get this earlier when you asked me, was that it's not that they rest now; it's that they rest over the course of time, because it's a cumulative fatigue. It's not at the beginning of the season necessarily. It's the fact that you don't stop playing. So, like, later, I would understand if you tell them, don't come back from holiday, I'm going to give you an extended holiday.
Yeah.
But if you bring them back and they're practicing with you and you're not playing them, you're not really, like, you know what I'm saying? You're not really doing them as much of a favor as it looks like. It's more, it feels like you should be doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Any major takeaways from this game? I mean, or is this par for the course, right?
Par for the course.
DeAndre
Yedlin
took a knee injury. It
so
didn't look good.
I don't think that's going to be good, but he really, the assist on the goal, he played well. He was playing good down that side until he came off. I was actually complimenting him on chat when it happened, which I guess I owe him an apology.
Yeah, we will get back to Tottenham and their robust transfer window action a little bit later. Word up. That was that game. 2-1. Tottenham takes all 3 points. Moving along, looking at other Big Six teams here. Huddersfield at home to Chelsea.
Which one is the Big 16? You're like, look at another Big 6 teams, Huddersfield.
Huddersfield, man. Well, Chelsea, man. Tell us about it.
This was actually, for me, the game that I was most anxious and hyped to see outside of the Arsenal-Man City game. But I would say even actually more so, because I knew the Arsenal-Man City game was going to be a lot more of the same. This, though, I had no idea what the fuck Sarri football was going to look like in the Premier League. And I wanted to get after looking kind of quiet for most of the summer and just getting Jorginho past week, they got Kovacic, and then all their players just came back from...
and they redid their goalies.
Yeah, they switched out their goalies, and
it's always
the football was nice. That's the thing I liked. The result is Huddersfield and Chelsea. Like,
it should be this.
They can get them, you know. Like, it was fine. It was nice to see Jorginho and Kante midfield. Jorginho plays the holding role, and Kante is kind of the box to box now. He's so far up the field that he scored a volley. The first goal of the Sarri era was scored by N'Golo Kante.
Yep.
And then they get a penalty. The second goal of the Sarri era is scored by his own man, Jorginho. You know what I'm saying? And this is all happening while Eden Hazard is on the bench. They didn't start him because he came back from World Cup, which they made
nice.
You know, so he came in late and managed to have time to get an assist, just in case anybody had him on there. I think he has him on his own fantasy team. So he just came in and got an assist. Boom.
Yep. And I mean, then when you throw in players like a Pedro and a David Luiz, who are kind of like slightly marginal under a Conte, and they're playing the way you have seen them play in the past, like they look like a different team. Like they look like a different team on paper. They look like a different team on the field. I'll be interested to see what Cesc does in this situation.
Cesc is going to just Cesc off somewhere because I think he's done.
Think he's done?
I mean, unless he wants to take a very reduced role. But I don't know, dude. Find some nice employer in Qatar or something and make yourself some fucking millions because he ain't going to be part of the big plans. Okay. Jorginho's distribution is really, really good. And Kante is just all over the place. So now, when you toss into that midfield Kovacic and you make it Kante, Jorginho, and Kovacic, granted they have to hold on to at least Kante until the end of the month before we can really,
Oh, true. Yeah.
But yeah, the dude was everywhere. He did fucking everything. And
Your man of the match,
Kante.
Kante.
Yeah.
Yep, former.
Kind of like the man of the match in every game. He kind of is.
When they play well, it's kind of obvious that that he has a lot to do with that.
And even when they don't, you can kind of be like, yeah, Kante fucking worked hard. It's the rest. Like I see a lot of games where it's like all he does is run all day. So
yeah, we have to start looking at this guy like two-time Premier League champion with two different teams, one being Leicester, and now World Cup champion. And Player of the Year.
Two times. Yes. Split both awards, once with Hazard and once with Mahrez. But and also he has had 4 Premier League seasons. He has scored in all 4 of the Premier League seasons.
Nice.
How many goals do you think he has scored in all of these?
4
total. He scores a goal a season.
A season. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 4.
Never had a 2-goal season, but he's never had a 0-goal season.
There it is.
So now he can concentrate on doing other things because he's already had his goal for the whole season.
Oh man, that sounds perfect. That's how I like to do my vacations.
Morata still looks lost, but the game puts a lot of effort and runs, so they play around him and they're fine. But at some point when you play big games, you're going to need a guy to do things.
So as of now, you are still very excited about Chelsea, per your preview last week.
Actually, I would say more excited because the Man City cup game that they had where they didn't look that good was a little confusing, but now it's I'm back on board with the Chelsea excitement.
Okay. Well, moving along to another fan base that has probably unparalleled amount of enthusiasm for this season. Liverpool hosts West Ham, which I remember this a few years ago being a game that they dropped opening weekend. But there was no inkling of that this weekend. Was there, Sir Solomon?
Nah. When you play basically mostly the team you've had, plus Keita in the middle, against a team that's starting 6 fresh guys, and you're an offensive juggernaut against a team that if you usually generally score against them, you're going to win. Like they're not known for heart. If they get ahead of you, they might play you and stuff, but it had all the ingredients for an amazing home opener for Liverpool FC.
Oh, absolutely.
Early goal, multiple goals, the West Ham just turning off once they realized they weren't going to win early. It was a perfect home opener.
I'm looking at this back 4 here for West Ham, and it's looking like it's going to be another really tough season in a relegation battle here.
I don't think they're going to be in a relegation battle. I think West Ham is going to finish around mid-table, actually.
I mean, they might, but they were totally in a relegation battle, and they still finished mid-table last year.
Oh.
I kind of mean like that. I don't think they're going to be...
You see, that's the thing even last year we were talking about with Newcastle and stuff. I don't believe it's a relegation battle unless you're in it late.
Unless you're in it like the last few weeks.
Like something like...
West Ham was down there, man.
I know.
They looked like they were going. And Liverpool picks up where they left off.
Yeah.
Like it's been about 8 months now. You're just like... They've been ransacking people.
But at the same time, this was not the game you expected it to change.
Nope.
Nope. You know what I'm saying?
No, not like, but I guess the thing is that there is some feeling that I get that it's like Liverpool they're kind of expected. There's like this expectation that they shit this bed. They shit the bed in this game a couple years ago when they were still clearly the better team.
Understood.
And so I'm just saying that
a couple of years ago they were not even close being as good as they are right now.
Agreed.
And B, like the other team is starting with 6 fresh faces.
Yeah,
it's very, very. I cannot state how difficult it is to play against a team that essentially has one new guy, and the new guy was everywhere. Keita was a boss.
2 new guys, but go ahead.
Oh, okay, sure.
Goalie.
Oh yeah, like he helped their intricate movements.
What? He stopped that
Yeah,
powerful
that-
West Ham attack. Arnautovic, he just
That
stamped
one-
that out.
They had 3 goals before West Ham had a shot on him, man.
I know, man. I know. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But yeah, fucking Keita bossed the game. Fabinho had a knock on his vagina, so he didn't play. So maybe next time. Sorry, Fabi.
It's Fabby, baby. Word up. So, as they continue along their what many people believe will be their main rivals this year for the title, Manchester City was away to Arsenal for Unai Emery's first game, and I don't know, kind of seems like it went as planned, like everything else we said today.
Yeah, this one, I thought Arsenal would get a goal because it was a home game, blah blah blah. So outside of that, there was nothing surprising, and Raheem was all over the place doing very Raheem things. He scored, but he also was fucking messy. Riyad Mahrez and Ben Mendy look like they've been on that team for 8 years.
Yeah,
Like they're
I love it. Mendy with 2 assists.
yes, 2 assists. But check this out. City started with Kevin De Bruyne and Leroy Sané on the bench. So and Vincent Kompany, who
Yep.
actually
Whatever.
he splits time from the bench and the field.
Yep.
So in this game, Ozil and Henrik Mkhitaryan have been given a fucking roasting publicly because by everybody because they played terribly. Ozil in this game had 55 touches. Okay? Mkhitaryan had 44. Aaron Ramsey played 53 minutes in this game. He had 19 touches. You understand? Now, this new kid that Arsenal got, Guendouzi,
Yep.
I call him Gwen. So anyways, Gwen, he's one of those players I was talking about earlier that is fucking magnetized to the ball.
Yeah.
He was on the ball 71 times in this game. Understand me?
Oh yeah.
Just to give you a perspective of the touches of Ozil, which was 55.
Yep.
Petr Cech had 56.
So, question: Is it a result of the motivation of the Arsenal players on your part, or
I
was
think
it
it's a
more
result of motivation.
was it
Now,
more tactical?
If I look at it, it wasn't a tactical thing. They just got dominated because 9 out of 11 Manchester City starters had more than 50 touches.
Yes, man, such
You know what I'm saying?
but yeah, I
Kyle
got you.
Walker and Ben Mendy had 84 and 86 touches each.
I mean,
Like,
but that's what they do, right? I mean, that's the
not-
game
that's-
plan.
I mean,
so I'm asking,
I'm just saying the wings, the left back and the right back dominated.
Yep.
Ainsley, whatever, Niles
Yep.
guy,
Yep.
and on the other end, they were just getting
So, yeah, that's
roasted.
what I mean. That's what
that
I'm-
was the effectiveness of the football.
Okay.
Was that it's rare that you see a right back and a left back have that many touches in a game.
and that's what I'm saying. They physically dominated that game. Like they just
They were everywhere.
Technically dominated the game. Like I got you.
The draw up was perfect by Pep too, and he got him to do the overlaps perfectly. Like the football was flowing, and Arsenal were just. Lucas Torreira started on the bench. He needs to start because he was everywhere once he came on. I keep saying that, but these are what they.
I mean, let's be honest. When you start running the wing backs in Pep's system, it really becomes difficult to defend them. And last year, they're for when it's all said and done, it's Walker and Delph or Walker and Danilo, and it's not.
That's the thing about Mendy is he might be bigger than like 95% of whatever people's signings are this year because him coming back allows the football to be on both sides balanced. You can stretch him from both sides.
Yep.
But that being said, Pep has been known to push that fucking envelope far, and it is a thin line between the team losing balance and your fullbacks being caught up
Your
a
center
lot,
backs
which is
ran out too,
which is how he fucking got beat when he was a Barca, and that's how his teams get beat when he's a Bayern. So,
Yep.
although it's beautiful to see when it's successful, that is also the undoing of Pep's football, is that his fullbacks and defenders end up there and they get caught up.
Yep. And then you're relying on your center backs who better be fast and better make great decisions.
Yeah.
So I guess my question would be about Arsenal then. How'd you feel Unai Emery's debut? Anything stand out here? Like, I mean, I don't think anybody expected them to win this game, but performance-wise, do you see the shift? Do you feel like they're...
I'm going to give it until the Chelsea-Arsenal game before I give it a go, just because...
This is a lot to...
Yeah, and the City's dominance is different in the sense that now they're not just the new kids on the block. This is a team that was kept together against a team that's totally new and at the same time on like 1/50th of their budget. You know what I'm saying? So it was a weird situation, but they didn't embarrass themselves. They acquitted themselves decently. After it was 1-0 for a while, it looked like it could really get out of hand. I mean, granted, Raheem Sterling missed a few chances too, and he could have finished it off. But Arsenal put themselves together and got tighter and stayed in the game for a lot longer than I expected them to once they got scored on early. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
The Raheem Sterling goal, there was a deflection, but it didn't really matter. Like, it was a nice goal.
Yep.
And between that and the Bernardo Silva goal, they had a chance like 3-4 times to extend the lead. And Arsenal managed to hold them off somehow. But as my friend said, I hope they can't be our defense. Because that's all that was happening. But they were just missing. It wasn't Arsenal defending.
That's tough, man. Either way, I think that covers up all our games for Premier League opening weekend. That was fun. Glad you're back.
Yes, welcome back.
Yeah, that was our EPL review for the week. We are about to hit you with our La Liga preview now. But first, man, let's talk real quick about that Supercopa.
Supercopa was fucking actually awesome.
Barcelona, Sevilla.
I really, really enjoyed the Supercopa. There was a little controversy before it because Barca currently have 4 non-EU players on the roster between Malcolm, Arthur, Phil Coutinho, and Luis Suarez. And Sevilla were saying that if they do, they might even walk off and just take the fucking forfeit from the team and just try to get them knocked out. But anyways, Malcolm wasn't even... But they couldn't have.
Why not?
Because they didn't put Malcolm on the team sheet.
Oh, okay.
So all of a sudden, that whole argument that took over like 24 hours before the game didn't matter.
Yeah. Barcelona just fucking with people.
Yeah. So anyways, Arthur starts in midfield with Rafinha and Biscuits. And Rafinha did not look good. Arthur did. Arthur was controlling the game. He was on the ball a lot. He was making moves. Trying to connect with Messi, who was in okay form. He didn't look that special, but he was still controlling a lot of the game. Luis Suarez, who looked like shit and fucked up a lot of opportunities. And Dembele, who had an up-and-down game we'll get into.
Okay. Par for the course here. Barcelona dominating possession, dominating shots, but Sevilla is always a tricky draw.
Yeah, they scored
Barcelona.
earlier. They scored a nice goal.
Nice goal.
And then the assist to the goal, they nutmegged the player they sold to Barcelona to fucking in this summer. Yeah, he got nutmegged in the goal.
Whoops. Other controversy from this game was the location of it and the fact that it's a one-off, because usually, right, the Supercopa is 2 games.
Yes.
2-leg match.
I don't know how much of a controversy the one-off aspect of it is, because it's long been considered by most football people to be a joke that they have a 2-legged final at the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
and usually it ends up being like they'll do one leg, and then you'd play the first game, and then they'd have like the second leg in the middle of the week, and it's ridiculous. So, as far as it being in Morocco and Spain is like from here to North Carolina.
Gotcha.
It's the same thing. It's just a marketing opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, nice vacation.
You saw them like when they went, like they landed the day of the flight, like they just because Barcelona is right down there.
Right there. Yep. Super Copa, man, it doesn't mean much, but it's always good to get a trophy.
It means that goal scored in the Super Copa. People saw it.
No, it's worth that at least for sure. Always worth that.
So, A. Vidal played in this game, and that was Alex Vidal, who just returned to Sevilla because the A. Vidal jersey that was at Barca is needed for another guy. So he made his second debut for Sevilla.
Okay.
That's what they did.
Interesting piece of...
You didn't see that? They got Arturo Vidal, so they got rid of Alex Vidal.
So
and then Arturo Vidal has A. Vidal jersey.
It's a different number, though, right?
We'll see.
All right, we're going to get into the La Liga preview. Quick recap of last season. Barcelona almost go undefeated, lose in the penultimate game, but still walk away with the La Liga title. Atleti come in second with a solid display, just not enough to keep pace with Barcelona. Real Madrid looked trash for a lot of the first part of the season and then just keep it steady on the gas. After that, finished third. Valencia ground out a fourth place finish with tons of 1-0s and just non-possession based football. Villarreal, Betis, and Sevilla all make Europa. Betis is a pleasant surprise there. Villarreal solid all year. Sevilla just up and down all over the place. Real Madrid, as we mentioned, Champions League champs for about the 17th time or something or whatever. Who cares? Big three, man. Let's start off with the champs.
Yes, sir.
Champ is here. Diving for Glory, by the way, always known for unbiased commentary and perspective. Always.
But anyways,
but with all that being said, yeah, man, Barcelona. How's it looking this year? What are we thinking?
I think it's exciting. The January purchase of Phil Coutinho was awesome. His first 4 or 5 months there were exciting, but when you add to that in the summer, Arthur, Malcolm, this adds not just
Vidal,
Vidal and Lenglet in the defense. So now they have 4 central defenders. They have multiple options at midfield that are all talented. Like not like should I bring on Paulinho or some other
or Andre Gomez?
Yeah, the Andre Gomez. First off, before we get started, this season in the Premier League, my team I'm going to be supporting has to be Everton. Because thank you for taking Andre Gomez.
We appreciate that.
Like, I don't care. Like, I hope they didn't charge you anything. I hope you just took him. Like, I just don't want to see him in a Barca jersey. They got rid of Yerry Mina and Andre Gomez to Everton and filled it with, first of all, they were heisting cats. They was out there yoinking like Homer Simpson at a fucking donut shop. Yoink. Roma announced the signing of this guy called Malcolm. Their fans went
Bordeaux.
Their fans went all the way to the airport to wait for Malcolm's arrival.
I didn't know it got that far, man.
Oh, you did not?
No.
Oh yeah, his mom was like they were transporting his mom to Roma and shit.
Oh,
but so the fans are out. And Barca yoinks the dude, calls him. His agent puts the kibosh on the situation. They refuse. The team refuses him permission to travel. Next thing you know, he's doing a medical. He's in Barca. It was awesome. He did not play in this game, but him being around inspired Dembele to score one of the most fucking amazing goals I've seen in a long fucking time. That skinny little bitch scored a goal from way outside the box and off the bottom of the crossbar. Big
It's a
up
bullet.
yourself.
Yeah.
But now we have options. And the other thing is, if you remember last season, they started off good, but Luis Suarez played really bad for most of the first half of the season. And then he caught fire. The same way like Ronaldo. Like the two of them started scoring like after November. This year, if he does that again, at the age he's at too, like he might not even, like he might start being rested because...
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll just let you know.
Thought you said it was the wrong number.
No. I was trying to be slick. That did not turn out the way that I hoped it
I
would.
preferred it to non-stick. I was like, shit. Like Sophia said it first.
Barcelona, though, man, like you said, they addressed their needs, man. They lost no more Iniesta this year as well. As he
ended
on
some
to-
dude in Japan this fucking weekend. Did you see that shit?
No, I didn't.
Oh my god, he controlled the fucking long kick the ball with some spin move that just the defender didn't know what the fuck happened, and then like he just walked around the goalkeeper, and he should not be in Japan. It's just
Yeah.
they're not ready.
Yeah, nah, dude, he was still serving in a number of big games last year.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's whatever. But Barcelona for this year, what are your expectations? Like last year, like La Liga was like, man, it was like, okay, take that. Like I wasn't really expecting that, especially we talked about this after the Supercopa. It was not looking pretty.
So last year, at the beginning of the preview episode, I said a lot of bullshit that I came back to catch me at the end of the season. But I remember one thing that I didn't fuck up on was when we said Barca didn't really have a chance to win much, except they only play Madrid twice.
Yeah.
So they could win the league because they're going to beat everybody.
Yep.
And they actually didn't care about playing Madrid at all because Madrid didn't want the league.
Yep.
But it was one of the least impressive
Dominating.
league dominations.
Yeah. I mean, they lost one game. They drew like 3 or something. Like it was.
Yeah, but
it was not pretty, man. It was not pretty at all.
Like
So how you feel this year?
I feel fucking amazing. I think they're gonna be really good. I think Lenglet is gonna be good backup for Piqué and.
They're gonna hold Dembele.
Huh?
Are they gonna hold Dembele?
Oh yeah.
I don't think so, but I'm just.
If you asked me on Friday, it might have been a different question.
Yeah.
But
Score a goal like that, and they're like, "Oh, that's right."
Sell
That's why.
the 19-year-old that scored that goal, and see what happens in the next election.
It was just.
This is not like Madrid, where it's Fiorentino Perez and nobody can run against him because he's rewritten the fucking thing. Like here, if you fuck up, they're gonna bounce you, so you can't.
Yep.
You know?
How do you feel about their Champions League hopes this year?
I think they are, if not a favorite, but like one of the co-favorites. I think they haven't been to the semifinals in the last 3 years, and I think at the very least they should go back to the semifinals.
Okay, no doubt. Be a wonderful season, wonderful thing to see here as Messi starts to wind down his career.
Fuck up.
Hey man, I'm just saying. Just saying.
Nobody
Keep it
asked you
real.
about winding down nothing.
Nihilism, fatalism.
Host this
Sorry,
shit.
man.
Shut up. Don't tell me about Messi running down nothing.
Oh man, team that I swear just gets grinded down every year, but you know they are the most resilient thing I've seen in football. Atleti made some wonderful. They did some work in the transfer window this year as well.
I think Atleti had an amazing transfer. Just keeping Antoine Griezmann was good enough. Like that would have made it an amazing summer for Atletico. Antoine Griezmann, Jan Oblak, Diego Godin all got approached by major clubs. All of them rejected them, signed contract extensions, so are actually more committed to Atletico than before this transfer window started.
Yeah, no.
Like, and fucking Antoine Griezmann goes on France duty and comes back with the Thomas Lamar. I was like, let's add to this shit. Like, forget just keeping our players. You know, they got Kevin Gamero's bouncing, I think, but like outside of that, like dude.
Is this the Simeone effect? You just love to play for the dude.
A mix of things. Simeone effect, and it's a Madrid team that actually pays money. Like
Yeah.
you know, people like living in Spain. Atletico is a fucking, like, Madrid is a great place to be. And Diego Simeone, like, even when Atletico sucked, they have good players.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
I'm
somebody
smart,
like Diego
man.
Simeone, though, who has actually, it looks like, no interest in going anywhere else and just wants to coach this team, like, it's really, really changed the culture. They've had periods of time where they've been good and they've won championships before, but, like, this dominant for this long and have one person's identity,
Yeah.
like, I don't know if we've seen a team just be in one person's identity like this since, like, maybe Alex Ferguson.
Ferguson, right? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I was thinking.
Like,
Yeah, man, Lamar move was amazing. They paid $80 million for him, dollars that is. Johnny Castro they brought in.
yeah, big time.
Nikola Kalinic.
Yeah.
Kalinic, yeah.
He had a bad time in fucking AC Milan, but, like, he's decent.
Yeah,
He was courting a little controversy this summer when he got in a row with his manager and left the Croatia team. And I think he got kicked off the Croatia team, and then got offered the silver medal, and he was like, "Fuck y'all, I'm not taking a medal of no fucking thing I got kicked off of." And they were like, "New controversy," and I'm like, "That's the one part I agree with."
Yeah, I know, right?
Kick me off the team.
I
Stop
like
calling
it.
me about
I
shit.
don't need that. I don't need that. Well, how do you legit contenders for the title for La Liga? Well, they're always like this dark horse team for Champions League, which they're kind of going to be. Again,
I think
but
they're going to be a big, like, a tournament team, but I don't think, like, they depend.
They didn't strengthen enough to.
Yeah, they don't have depth. They don't have rotation. Diego Godin is a year older. Jimenez, another player that they held down and re-signed right before the World Cup, in fact, was fucking Jose Jimenez,
Yep.
who went into the World Cup and had a fucking baller-ass time.
Yep.
But still, like, yeah, they have a guy at every position. Barca has two guys at every position at this point. So I would go with Barca, but I think that this Atleti team, for the first time since I've started watching Atletico and Real Madrid, this Atletico team is better than the Real Madrid team this year.
Yeah, I can see Atletico actually challenging this year, and it just depends how. I think for them it'll be how they start off. If they start off and they're in that race, you know what I mean? I think they'll.
It would take a collapse on either Real Madrid or Barca's part, because the year they won it is one of the lowest points totals in history. Like, they would have come third for most years. It's just like their destiny when it comes to the championship is really not in their hands. But what I like about Diego Simeone is, like, they're going to do their part and be in the upper 80s or in the bottom 90s in terms of points. And if you fuck up, they're there. But they're not going to come in and put in a 100-point season.
I'm not picking them for sure. Like, but I feel like I think they're going to be right there this year, and I think they're going to finish second again, above Real Madrid.
I think Real Madrid might actually do decent only because I think that Real Madrid is going to get bounced in the Champions League this year.
Okay. Speaking of
Have,
Real Madrid,
Atleti going further.
yeah. Okay. Speaking of Real Madrid, let's talk about them. The defending European champions, 3-time European champions, changed their goalie. Finally, they got rid of the guy who won them 3 of those, or 4 of those. Was he for all 4? He was, wasn't he? I think so.
Yeah. No.
I mean, it's either that or Iker.
I don't know. Anyways, yeah, he was in there for 3. I know that for sure. But Courtois is clearly a much better
upgrade.
caliber.
He wants to be there, as opposed to not being in London.
So his family's there. He's Real Madrid. He's a fucking snake. He left Chelsea. When he was Atleti, he was talking about how he'd never fucking play for Real Madrid. And he came there and he was like, I always knew I was going to play for Real Madrid.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome. I love it. In fact, I was telling Hazard he should come over right now.
He's a douche, isn't he, man? He's a douche. Did he smash
KDB's
smash De
chick?
Bruyne's girl? Right? Yeah.
But he kind of seems to relish it. Like, he doesn't do the whole "I'm misunderstood" thing. Like, he went out. Like, he was there.
He's as douchey as he looks. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just own it, homie. I'm with that. So what are you thinking? We have a new coach, Julian
Anyways, doesn't matter. They have not Zidane.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they have not Ronaldo.
That's right. They lost that guy too.
Yeah, so I think they're actually going to be good in terms of like their team football and and how the style is. And this guy will build a beautiful style. But we just finished a tournament where we saw him build beautiful football and not be effective on a team he took over from a legend. So look at his playing career. I'm just fucking around. It was Luis Enrique that took over. But Lopetegui has his work cut out for him only because I don't think that Isco is as good as they think he is.
Really? You think he's overrated?
And I think that if Isco was as good as they thought he was, Modric would have already been in Inter Milan by now.
Really?
Yeah.
You couldn't lose Ronaldo and Modric in the same
The rumor
window without a replacement.
I mean, you'd get a replacement, and I still think they're going to buy players. But the rumor is that that's why Zidane resigned from the team, is because they're just trying to get rid of a lot of the older guys. And Perisic just this last week posted a picture at Inter where it was Perisic, Simi Varaselko, the guy that was from Atleti that just landed in Inter, and Marcelo Brozovic, and he was like, "There's just one guy missing in this picture."
Oh, I'm sorry. Modric, yeah, man, peace. 32?
That's what I'm saying.
Peace.
Dude, he had a solid
realize
career
that.
at Tottenham
Yeah, and he's been
and got sold to, and yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's been at Real Madrid for
And
a
even
minute,
before
yeah.
Tottenham, he wasn't like born in Tottenham. Like, he had his career before then, you know.
Yep. So what's your prognosis?
I think that the second and third place is going to be closer, and I think it depends on Bale's production.
And his health?
I mean,
that's the only thing that
I
matters.
mean, one and the same.
Yeah, one and the same. That's what I mean.
You
Yeah.
produce when you can play.
Yep.
So if he scores at a high clip, then it might save them. But like last season was a lot of games where the team wasn't playing good, and Ronaldo tapped a goal in and they won, or Asensio stole something. So, Lopetegui has his job cut out for him because he actually has to build a style that's not at all dependent on Ronaldo. And like a lot of these guys,
Ronaldo, 100 million means they don't love me.
I think he left because of that fucking tax case.
I can see it. I thought Messi was going to leave because of that, man.
Yeah.
They're just hardcore over there.
And I think that's why Neymar bounced too.
Normally, I think we go to the new three, but you want to look at the rest of like the top 6, top 7?
Sure.
We'll talk about the relegation. Valencia, how do you see their season playing out this year? Similar to last year, they making a jump, or
they're trying to close on Guedes, and if they do, like they played for them on loan last year, he's trying to force a move. They offered PSG 40. PSG's trying to get more money, but now that the Premier League window is closed, they're trying to make the move again. And if they get him, I think Valencia is actually going in a good direction. And they're
going to grind out the same way. They're at this point. You got to consider them a pretty well drilled team. They brought a lot of players back.
Absolutely, and
coach
Marcelino is an amazing coach. He knows how to play that team, and they'll be right there for a 4th place spot or 3rd place if somebody fucks up. But they don't have depth. Jeffrey Kondogbia, they secured him like they was on loan too. But that's the kind of business that they're trying to do. In terms of this season, at least, they're starting from a point of comfort, like a knowledge and what do you call it? Just it's understood what they are. Like every other season before this, we didn't know what the fuck we were going to get with Valencia, but like Marcelino has changed that. And
it's like a little some type of identity this year. Yeah. The other V team, the Yellow Submarine, Villarreal.
The Yellow Submarine is always going to be right there.
And they're like up and down, though, the past few years.
I mean, because they're designed to be 7th, 8th, 9th kind of team. And depending on, which Thursday your Europa game comes on, your season might get a little fucked, But for such a small squad that sold their fucking striker in the middle of the season, Cedric, to China, they did decent,
Picked up Cazorla.
He back home from Arsenal.
That should be nice.
They should be decent.
It's not going to be like game changing or anything, but I mean, it'll be.
It is.
I mean, you think?
It is. Like game changing in terms of like having Cazorla should be good for quite a few points over the course of the season. That'll set them in the right direction. I think he's going to be a proper part of their squad.
Okay. Got him on a free.
Yeah. That's the only way they could get him. Team that's really, really exciting and interesting in Spain right now is Betis.
Okay.
And
tell us why.
They got Marc Bartra from Dortmund. They had him on loan. They closed it. Even other players right now in Spain that are not getting playing time are trying to force moves there because the Betis movement is catching on. They're located in Seville, just like Sevilla. They're Sevilla's rivals, but they've got developed the scouting system now down to where they're trying to catch up with their neighbors, and I don't know. They closed off last season really well. They've been they're owned by shit. Anyway, some conglomerate. Then they're I can't find my fucking page.
Yeah. Well,
but anyways, Real Betis, watch that. They're fucking kick-ass.
Yeah, Europa, man. That'll be good for them. Sevilla, though.
Sevilla.
They hemorrhaged a couple players.
It depends on whether Ever Banega and Nzonzi stay there, especially Nzonzi. I think Ever Banega they've managed to secure, but if Steven Nzonzi stays and that's their midfield, they can still make moves. They got Alex Vidal, like I mentioned to you, Jesus Navas, so their right side of their defense / midfield is covered. On the left, they're good. They got Pablo Sarabia and all these guys, so they can have a very, very good team. But again, this team is going to be around the same as Betis in the Europa spot, trying to sneak a 4th or 5th spot, but they don't have enough talent all over the place.
No doubt. They're in Europa. They're qualifying, I believe, so they have to play a play-in game. Any other teams out here can sneak this group again? How about Girona making a come up, or even what's the other one? Getafe.
I'd say
Celta.
I'd say more for Girona, just because like they have feeding loans and all that. Celta, of course, is going to be more of the same. They're going to be one of the most exciting teams. They still have Iago Aspas leading the line, and they score. They score more than on average more than 2 goals a game. They're an exciting team, but they also give up more than 2 goals a game. They're going to be good for a watch any day.
Okay. The new teams are Real Valladolid, Huesca,
Yeah, Huesca.
and Rayo Vallecano.
Rayo Vallecano, yeah.
Rayo.
Rayo Vallecano is an old team that is known for their racist fans.
Nice.
Valladolid is another team that goes back and forth. The other one,
Huesca.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've only seen them in like the Copa del Rey or something.
Yeah, and they only make news if they upset somebody. So.
Anybody in particular going back down?
I can't call it anywhere after 13. Anybody could go down in Spain. Like,
Yeah.
some guy doesn't pay them their salary for 2 weeks, and next thing you know, that team's getting relegated.
How you feeling about Sociedad this year?
Sociedad's going to be alright. I think they're going to be upper middle table team. The problem with Sociedad is that they're kind of like the Miami Heat or something in the United States. Going there to play a game is not a problem for people.
Yeah.
They like going to San Sebastian and fucking.
Yeah.
You know,
They like going to the Heat. Nice.
Yeah. Whereas Athletic Bilbao just sold their goalkeeper to Chelsea for 71 million.
Really?
I don't know. I think that's where Kepa came from.
Okay.
And I don't know what they're gonna do about that, but that's like a industrial city, so it's not really the most friendly confines for people to go. The stadium is known as being very difficult to play at, but out of the best teams, yeah, Sociedad is a nice day at the beach, man.
Okay. Since there is no more Las Palmas, we are gonna move on here and head to Sudden.
Italy.
Yeah, there you go. Italy. Yeah, all right, Serie A preview. Let's run through it. Quick review of last season. Juventus and Napoli battled it out, went down to the last few games. Napoli just could not win when they needed to. Roma, super surprising season, great season for them. Semifinals of Champions League, third place of Serie A. Inter stole fourth place under Lazio's nose on the very last day. Due to a guy that was playing for Lazio that Inter had signed and had announced that already. Lazio, fifth place. AC, Gattuso takes over and rights the ship enough to get them in Europa for sixth place. And Atalanta finish in seventh for the final Europa League spot qualification. Big five, man. Let's talk about Juventus, who made it might not turn out to be the biggest move, but like by any means, any stretch of the imagination, the name alone is the most, what do you want to say? It has the most notoriety. I mean, I'm just saying on the
What
field.
do you mean it might not be the biggest move?
On the field.
What's
it
the
may
biggest
not
move? Well, when come
I
close
don't-
to being
hey,
close
we'll
to getting Ronaldo to Italy, not the biggest move.
What?
It's not debatable.
Okay.
It's by far the biggest move. Like it legitimized the whole nation's league. That's by far. Give me a close second to Ronaldo transferring. That's the big news in Italy.
In Italy? In Italy?
All they've been doing for the last
I'm not
20
saying
years
in
is
Italy.
selling
I'm
people.
talking about
and-
across Europe. I'm talking about across Europe. but that's fine. Hey, I'm just not sure it's going to pay those type of dividends on the field. But we'll see. And that's what I'm saying. Like the most impactful on the field. Of course, it's like the biggest, the most popular, the most known about, talked about. It is definitely that. And you're right. Like it's like, oh shit, Serie A picked up one of these huge players. Like that is a major thing for Serie A. So I mean, I do agree on that level. I'm just saying that I'm not sure it will be the most impactful on the field.
Okay. All I've seen from Ronaldo's career is
Absolutely.
impact. That's
Absolutely.
all I've ever seen. So
Absolutely.
I will not say I don't see the impact of it, because if he steps on a field, he's going to fucking score, is what I know of football
Well,
so far.
we shall see.
So if he doesn't, I'd be impressed that like lesser defenders are actually slowing him down than his previous opponents. So this is actually, in my opinion, a situation where Ronaldo can fucking shine.
Okay.
Gonzalo Higuain scored 32 goals in this league last year.
Absolutely.
Edin Dzeko, who got run out of England, has been dominating this league.
Yep.
And you don't think that Ronaldo is the one that's
I
going to
didn't say
work
that.
out?
I didn't say
You
that.
don't think that that's going to be the impactful
I didn't say
move?
that. I didn't say that. I said I don't think
It's going to be
it
on the
may
field
not be
impactful.
the most impactful across Europe.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. So
Right.
yes, I mean we'll see. So I mean, look. So what does that constitute though? Do they have to walk away with Champions League? Do they? I mean, they're gonna walk away with the fucking title regardless if he came or not. Shit, they've won the last 7 or some shit. So that's a wrap. So the next step up is actually winning Champions League. Like that, like his like the impact that he has to provide for it to be like what I would consider the most impactful. Yeah, he might go and
Depends
fucking.
on what the other people do. Just like if he, like I haven't seen a name of that caliber this summer being transferred.
Absolutely not,
So
no.
I would understand your argument if there were other big names going all over the
Oh,
place.
it's not an argument. It's just a
But
conjecture.
what I'm saying
prediction.
is, like, out of the market that so far has the names that have moved, he's by far like the guy that I would say go to the bank and put money on to have the biggest impact. Actually,
okay.
yeah.
roll with it. So tell me about
I think
how do
that
you see it
they're
playing out?
contenders in every competition they play. And last year, even when they were advancing, the Juventus team didn't look like they were good enough to rank with the big guys, and that was the big moment. We used to laugh about how they were going to start to stick the game with Higuain as a striker. Like we personally, you and I. You understand
Oh, I
what I'm saying?
know. I
So
agree.
just that switch alone is hugely impactful.
Yep.
So to upgrade that, and at the same time, that happening, they decided that now is the time to make the move. So they got back Bonucci in a trade for Caldara, who was their player that they had loaned last season, who was actually really good. But yes, you're right. It is all about the Champions League. But if anything will show you, like last year's Bayern Munich Real Madrid game, if you ball out and you get scored on and get bounced, I'm not going to say that he wasn't impactful. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
If he's just standing there and they get bounced, then that's one thing. But if you do your part, I'm not gonna. The team has to fulfill their end. I can't just say, oh, they didn't win, so therefore he failed and it was an impactful thing. You have to, things have to fall in place. But as long as Ronaldo, during the course of his season, is scoring in all competitions that they're participating in, that's all the dude can do. I wouldn't discount his accolades based on full performance either. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. And do you think they are one of the favorites for Champions League then?
Yes.
Okay. What about their goalkeeper situation?
It's not ideal, but I don't think it gets tested until way later. And Italian league is fucking full of goalkeepers. I think they've always, that's one thing that Italy has provided the world with, is no-name guys that can jump around and play goalkeepers, so they'll fix that.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're going to have this huge investment and like all in and just, you know. not fix it.
Yeah, no, I would assume so. They had a plan for this. Napoli loses their coach, loses Jorginho. How do you foresee their upcoming season playing out?
They just
Bring in Ancelotti, though, right?
They have full confidence in Szczesny, by the way. They're not even attempting to get a starter. They just bought him. They just got Genoa's backup. They just got Genoa's starter as his backup. But like for right now, they just, which I kind of agree with. When you make
Talking about Juventus.
yeah, when you lose a big name, a lot of guys are so obsessed with replacing them immediately that they hurriedly buy wrong names. I like the purchases that took time and people got to know each other over them. And if they sit down and then this season they have Szczesny, next season they get a major name, then it'll be a worth it wait.
Or whatever his
What's
name
that?
is. What's his name? Donnarumma?
Donnarumma.
Donnarumma.
I'm not as he's a
Big
guy.
on him. Yeah.
I think he's on his way, but I don't know
Just
if
so
he's
young.
Juventus ready.
Yeah. Napoli. They lose their coach. They lose Jorginho. Bring in Ancelotti as coach. How you feeling about their upcoming?
I don't feel too good about their upcoming. I think Jorginho played a big part. Sarri organizing the style of play is why they were so successful. And I think that Ancelotti is past his time. I think that this might actually, I don't even know if he finishes the season. If he does, good. But I think this team was very Sarri dependent, and I think Kalidou Koulibaly will leave too soon.
Where do you see them? You see them dropping? See them dropping out of the top 4? That far?
I see them this season being at or about 4. But yeah, there's gonna be talent flight, and I don't think that they're a big enough squad to begin with.
Roma, with an incredible season last year.
Roma bought a bunch, sold a bunch, tried to this is Monchi's system, and I think Roma is gonna be fucking nice. They're not gonna be in contention for the championship this year. They're about a year off. We'll see how Patrick Schick's second season does, because his first season kind of sucked. He had injuries but if he keeps at it, they might. I think Roma is gonna be a good team.
How about Inter?
Inter is going to be fucking awesome. I think Inter is going to be the closest thing to
Juventus.
Juve in the league
really?
this year.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think that they still are going to end up with Rafinha from Barca because the Luka
That would be
Modric
nice.
deal has fallen through because they don't have money basically, and they just want a loan and then they pay next year, which is how a lot of Italian teams have been getting their players, with a loan with the option to buy. But it's funny, they got Rafinha last year with a loan for an option to buy this summer for 40 million pounds, and they couldn't afford it, so now they're asking for the same kind of deal again. So we'll see how it goes.
Interesting. Yeah, Inter's been on the up and up a little bit. Lazio.
Kept Sergio Milinkovic-Savic. The style is the same, but
For now, though, right? Like,
I mean,
no real suitors.
every day you wake up and then if you're Lazio, just be happy. You know what I'm saying? But that fourth place finish being snatched from them by Inter last season, I think might do some lasting damage. I don't know how good Simeone Inzaghi is. He looked like he kind of shit the bed at the end, and I don't see Lazio staying as close. Oh, and Felipe Anderson is in West Ham.
Yeah, that's tough out there, Lazio. Yeah, no, I foresee a drop coming for them. AC Milan, who have new owners again?
They're actually in the middle of. They kind of have no owners. Elliott management is taken over for the same exact reason we talked about last season, which was that the guy couldn't afford to pay them back the money of the loan. So they've taken over. They're trying to get group of the buyers ready so that they could sell it. But in the meantime, they're just trying to have a Champions League caliber team. Now that you've got rid of the Chinese owner, do the same thing that he had planned to do, which is pump a bunch of money in it and try to get into the Champions League.
But they made that move, like you mentioned earlier, getting rid of Bonucci and getting younger.
But the biggest part of that move and of their rebuild so far has been signing Leonardo. He used to be their ex-player. They hated him because he went to Inter to coach, and then he went to PSG. And he's back, and he convinced somehow Juventus that getting a 32-year-old Bonucci after a bad season is better than getting the Atalanta defender that just took his team to 5th place and was the leader of that group. So he got that. He got Higuain, which that was one thing that AC Milan really needed, was a target man that can do a season in the La Liga as a proper target man. They needed that, so they got that. So their moves are good, and they have longevity. Like, a lot of the guys are staying, and they just added a few pieces. So I think top 4 is a possibility for this team.
Okay.
But it would have to take a collapse by Napoli and a really good season by AC Milan for those two things to occur. Because I think that Juventus, Inter, and Roma will have top 3.
Yep.
So
it's gonna be
4th
a
place
fight.
is between Napoli and AC Milan.
And AC. Okay, nice. The newcomers, Empoli, Parma, and Frosinone.
Who cares? Parma was very dominant in the 90s, and then their sponsor and everything in the mid-90s, Parmalat, went bankrupt, and they've been struggling ever since. They're like a lot of superstar players in the 90s started out there, but like Varane and all of them. Now they're back. We'll see how they look. They had these fresh-ass blue and yellow jerseys that they're bringing back this year. Hoops, not stripes. So
cool.
It's interesting. That's about it. Empoli, welcome back. No?
Welcome back.
I think Frosinone came back after one season out.
I think so. I think you're correct as well. The rest of the league, how you feeling about Fiorentina, Atalanta, Sampdoria?
Fiore's been making some moves. Atalanta, I think they're going to fall off. Sampdoria is going to do good, and these are between the AC Milan probably, because Napoli is better than AC Milan, but AC Milan and Sampdoria and Fiorentina are in the second tier behind the main guys. But they'll be like, that second tier will have probably like 15 points between them. And
Yeah. I love to see Bologna, Genoa, Parma all up in the league this year.
Serie A table make you hungry, don't it?
Ridiculous. It does. It really does. Any surprises here, man? Any young players? Anything we should be thinking about here? Anybody you thinking going down? For sure.
Nah, I don't. Again,
Spal.
Italy
Spal.
could be, but Italy, the bottom teams are so shit that like it could be so many teams, you know. But most exciting Italian season in ages. Like I think there's a lot of teams in crossroads, and it's going to be very, very, very exciting to watch this season.
Yeah, man. Ronaldo, that unimpactful guy. That nobody. Word him up. We're going to move along. Yeah, all right. Final sections, award section. Our dude of the week goes to.
Yes.
Yeah, that guy, that dude guy on your favorite team in the EPL.
Yes, Richarlison.
Yeah.
Richarlison for being Andre Gomez's teammate. Thank you.
Thank you, man. You're making it easier for all Barca fans.
He started off the week being sold from Watford, and people left and left because he was $72 million. And, well, currently he costs about $36 million a goal because he scored 2 goals in his debut.
Mm-hmm.
So, Richarlison, get it.
The second goal, really nice, man. Some really nice work by himself. He opened himself up to that goalkeeper. Pause. Goal of the week.
Goal of the week is, if I remember correctly, which I'm known to not, is Usman Dembele.
You are correct, sir. You're correct.
So
fired a rocket in the Supercopa, man. From out, like you said, outside the box.
It was
not gonna be stopped.
And didn't even run around like he was surprised. It was just like show off here at the end. I was like, okay, he's definitely got the ego of a superstar.
So who costs more per goal at this point, him or Richarlison?
Oh, definitely Richarlison.
Oh man. All right, man. Prestigious, egregious D4G award section. That's what it is.
Big shout Ben Mendy, the real dude of the week.
Yeah, he balled out. That's right. He balled out, man. That guy. Mendy, man.
And talk shit to his manager. He's like, I wish you'd leave the social media alone. So he tweeted, oops.
Oh, nice. Wrong dude. Wrong. Pep, just leave it be, man. Yeah. So this is a Rodman type situation.
Social media.
Yeah,
dude.
man.
Let it go.
All right, man. Upcoming this week, EPL. Chelsea hosting Arsenal. Should be interesting.
Definitely interesting. Both teams were really just like Arsenal is not ready for City is the only thing we learned, and Chelsea, Huddersfield ain't ready for Chelsea is the only thing we know. So we're gonna know a lot more about these two teams. Who I think Chelsea is not definitely, but I think Chelsea is gonna be in the top 4. Arsenal is gonna be on the periphery, and I want to see what the game looks like.
Yeah, Chelsea with the new keeper, got rid of Thibaut Courtois, brought in, what was the guy from Athletic Bilbao?
Kepa,
the keeper. Kepa, the keeper. Oh, man.
Oh, you wanted his last name?
No. Yeah, I was going to say. I certainly have to come up with something more interesting than saying that, that sounds interesting. La Liga opens up with Barca.
All over the place.
I know, man. I know. Barca opens up with Alaves. Villarreal open. Sociedad, I feel like is an interesting match for opening week. Madrid hosts Getafe, and Valencia Atletico seems to be the game of the choice game of the week.
Actually, a surprisingly good set of matches because the Getafe Real Madrid, we have that old they didn't even plan for their change of managers. He was just like, fuck y'all, I'm out. You know, so that's the debut against Getafe. We'll see how that goes. You know, Real Sociedad, that promises all types of fireworks. And Valencia Atleti.
Yeah, some grind right there. Serie A opens up with Lazio, Napoli, and Chievo hosting Juventus on the first day. Always want to mention with Ronaldo's first. I assume he'll play in this game.
Yeah, that's what they got it.
Yeah, well, no. I mean, World Cup fatigue, man. He
got bounced.
I know he got bounced. I couldn't find anything interesting in Ligue 1, but I did want to mention that Marseille, Lyon, PSG, Monaco, Lyon, all were victorious this week. And I find it quite interesting that no team drew this week in Ligue 1.
And Dimitri Payet double.
Yeah.
And Memphis Depay bomb-ass goal.
Timothy
Weah gets off the mark in PSG's
3-0
game
win.
against Kyle or something like that.
Can.
You know. Yeah, it's back, and it's looking like Falcao is going to be gone out of Monaco, and I don't know what their plan is. So they just got rid of. Failed to mention. Inter Milan did get Keita Balde from Monaco also.
Nice. Yeah, nice. Last section going to be our EPL transfer roundup. It finally closed. They can now still lose players, hemorrhage players. We already mentioned Thibaut Courtois moving to Real Madrid at the end. Some decent moves there at the end, though. Like you said, we mentioned most of it in this episode, though. Andre Gomez going to Everton.
Andre Gomez and Yerry Mina.
Going to Everton.
End up at Everton. Manchester United, apparently, the biggest thing we learned from their transfers is that Jose Mourinho and Ed Woodward are not going to last together this season because they did not. It wasn't that they couldn't close. It was that the players that he would recommend, they did not agree with him. They did not want to spend 40 million on a 29-year-old like Jerome Boateng when they respect Eric Bailly as a player.
Absolutely.
But what I'm saying is, like, Mourinho is looking at this season. They're like, yeah, this guy is good. He's going to be good if you fucking play him. If we keep buying you players, you won't play him.
You won't play him, yeah. They missed on everybody's sign. No center back.
They didn't, like, all the ones that he was asking for, they essentially didn't agree with him on.
Yep.
They didn't want to buy Harry Maguire because, like I was telling you the other day, he was just like a hot tournament. Mm-hmm. They didn't feel like he was a better option than having, what's his name? Eric Bailly and the Swedish kid. So, you know?
Tottenham does something that no other Premier League team has done.
They did nothing.
They did nothing.
Nobody has ever done nothing so well before.
So much so that it's historical.
Historical amounts of nothing were done by Tottenham.
Is that going to be a big deal for them?
I think it's going to catch up with them at the same time, but whatever the fuck is a big deal for Tottenham. It depends on your expectations.
Is it going to cost them top four?
I would have said that before the season started, but after watching Arsenal, I think that Tottenham is better than Arsenal. So I think that top four are going to be, unless they lose players, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Tottenham. Yes, Manchester United is not on that list.
Oh no, they're not in my top. They're not in my top four either, man.
I got them 6.
Yeah. Yeah, I got Tottenham and United falling down out of the top four. I got Arsenal 4th.
I had Arsenal 4th, but I'm on the fence on that one. I actually sent it on chat, so they're gonna call me out on that. But it's
fair.
I don't know. Like it looks like Tottenham is further along than Arsenal right now.
I mean,
I just had Arsenal 4th because I fucking can't stand Tottenham. But like, if you just analysis-wise, I think that I think Tottenham is the better team.
Yeah, and I think you're right. And I just think, like you said, I think it's going to catch up to them. And the Piper has to be paid at some point. And whether it's whether it's the depth of their team or just the chemistry of their team or the lack of an alternative to Harry Kane coming off a World Cup year where he went to the semifinals. If Harry Kane goes out,
then they're done.
Yeah.
And Son just went down for a little bit.
For some reason, I think that we will get a case of NMS with Arsenal here at some point, and they just got a lot of new players and could be some enthusiasm there.
Yeah, it just kind of felt blah.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, prisoner of the moment, because I was kind of where you are, but I think that Tottenham, even though they didn't get anybody, holding on to all those defenders is going to be a game changer. Mustafi looks like error waiting to happen, and it's him and Koscielny in your defense.
Yeah.
Every other team in the top has good defenders in the center.
Yep.
And Arsenal, that's one thing that I'm not. They got the Greek dude, but he's just danger, dude. He just jumps into everything.
Yeah. Oh man,
Socrates, no.
Yeah, a buddy of mine has not been impressed with Socrates so far, and I think that is the episode, man.
Sorry, Socrates.
Sorry, Socrates. You're our final point. Thanks so much for tuning in, man. We appreciate anybody who takes the time to listen to us. We love you. If you love us back, please. Also, Diving for Glory, we post every Monday on YouTube on divingforglory.com, and check us out on Facebook. Check us out on Twitter at Diving for Glory. That is FOR, not the number 4. Holla, holla, holla.
Peace.
Diving.
What do you think about them?
Diving.
There's nothing more to say.
Diving.
Glory.